I do think there is a disconnect for women about their bowel habits. So, what I want to do in this video is kind of give you the picture of how I think about healthy bowels and also some tips on how to help you have healthier bowels. This is not as simple as if you go once a day, you're fine. It is a more complicated picture than that. And so, for instance, I think about what type of stool do you have? I think about how many times are you going to the bathroom to poop. I am thinking about how easy or difficult is it for you to have the poop. And I'm also thinking about whether you have leakage or smearing or incontinence when you poop. So the first thing I think about is the Bristol Stool Form Scale. And I ask what your poop looks like. And if you look at this scale, you can see the different types. And we are basically looking for type 4. That is the healthiest type of poop. If you are having 1, 2, or 3, your poop is too dry, it does not have enough water. And if you have 5, 6, or 7, it is too wet or too liquid, and you are trying to get back to type 4. When it comes to how many times you are pooping, I would say the biggest thing is consistency more than worrying about exactly how often you're going. I have seen women healthily be able to go one time a day, multiple times a day, every 3 days. So there is a range in this. And again, it's mostly about consistency. Now let's talk about how easy or difficult it is for you when you are on the toilet to poop. And what we hear a lot of is straining. And what I tell women is to stop it, that this is making it much more difficult for them to actually be able to poop. And so here are the positioning tips that we teach. Number one is the idea that you want your knees above your hips. And so there is a brand called Squatty Potty that is pictured here. That is a brand. You don't need to buy a Squatty Potty. You just need to get your hips below your knees. The reason is that the pelvic floor muscle, puborectalis, is wrapping around your rectum. And if you are not having your knees above your hips, it is cinching that rectum, making it that much more difficult for the poop to come through. The second tip that we have is to lean forward and to relax your belly, not to push down with your belly. And with this idea is relaxing your pelvic floor. So think about when we were doing the pelvic floor exercise earlier, when we've relaxed, right? If you think about the external sphincter of that anus, you don't want it to be closed. You want it to be open, and it's open when you relax. The last part that I want to leave you with is some tips about routine and diet. Now, this is so prevalent in our culture that I feel like there is plenty of ideas and suggestions for routine and diet. But here's what I'll give for my take on it, which is the digestive system loves routine. It loves when you do the same thing all the time, especially around food. But so what I suggest is in the morning, have a similar routine every day. Eat good breakfast, have some warm liquid, try to be active for 30 minutes, and then try to spend some time in the bathroom to see if you can poop. Give yourself time. I really find women trying to go too quickly and they get very frustrated. But if you give yourself some time, you probably will be able to. If you are at that point of let's say 15 minutes, just come back later and see if you can do it then. The other piece is about diet, right? Which is this idea of the large colon is trying to get the liquid that it wants to have that type 4 stool. So you're going to want to figure out how to encourage either through fiber intake, which most of Americans do not get enough fiber through food. And that means that you're going to look for supplementation. Now, I believe in natural kind of supplementation. So I'm going to think about psyllium husk, which is, the active ingredient in Metamucil, or I'm going to think about chia seeds because they are very effective and easy to add to morning foods. So that's where I'm going to leave it here for this video. I think that, you could easily get looking online and find all kinds of suggestions. So here is my last tip. Go slow. I find that many women are trying too much too quickly. And it is very easy for our digestive system to become off course. So if you're going to try something different, try it for a few days. Be very aware. Maybe you get a bowel chart and kind of see how things are affecting it, and then go from there.